but I met his stare as I clinked my glass against his, the crystal ringing clear and bright over the crashing sea far below, and said, "To the people who look at the stars and wish, Rhys." He picked up his glass, his gaze so piercing that I wondered why I had bothered blushing at all for Tarquin. Rhys clinked his glass against mine. "To the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered." A Court of Mist and Fury, page 337.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Massive Encyclopedia. I'm Rev.
And I'm Kat, and we're your hosts through this wonderful journey through Sarah J. Maas.
This is the podcast where we're building a full cross-series encyclopedia with characters, world building, Easter eggs, all the fun connections SJM has been hiding in plain sight. All right, I'm going to start with a chapter summary. We are going through the chapters 29 through 34. As I like to call them now, the Sexy Six go out to dinner in Velaris. And we see a lot of characters interact with each other that further build their relationships. We learn about what should be our favorite bar and nightclub in Velaris, Rita's. Later, Cassian starts training Feyre while Rhys continues to help Feyre figure out her powers. Rhys, Feyre, and Amren decide then to go to the summer court. We end up in Adriata, one of the bigger cities of Summer Court. We meet a few key players here. We have Tarquin, Varian, and Cressida. Feyre gets a little bit jealous of Rhys and Cressida, although nothing serious happens between them. Tarquin points out that he will not say anything to Tamlin about his bride being there. Can't wait to get into that topic because I got lots of notes. Feyre plays with water magic, and she allows Tarquin to give her a tour of their trove. We learn Tarquin wants equality amongst the Fae, earning some respect from Rhys. And Tarquin hears the truth of Tamlin locking up Feyre from Feyre, and that being the reason for her choosing to leave Spring Court. And we finish with a bit of Rhysand's jealousy. Feyre smiled at Tarquin. Do you want to get us started into the analysis of these chapters?
I do. So this week we're going to talk about three main topics. We're going to talk about the inner circle dynamics that we see when they're out in Velaris. We're going to talk about this developing relationship between Rhys and Feyre, because this is big time happening here. And then we're going to talk about Tarquin and the summer court and kind of court dynamics in this world. So, Rev, what would you say is your maybe biggest surprise or the biggest character development that you saw between the characters in Velaris?
I think the biggest character development I saw, is Cassian. Like, we see him go from this gym bro to like this really intuitive, caring person. And he's just like, bring it. I know what I asked for. You know what? I know you need this, and I'm here to give this to you. Like, that was one of the biggest growths. I don't know. What was yours?
I love the scene where they're training, and it's almost like Feyre's therapy session where he asks, he's like, "So you sent the letter, huh? What's that like?" And she just is processing everything, and she is pounding so hard into his gloves that she is using the autumn court fire and goes through them. And he's like, "I can take it. Keep going."
He's like, "I'm all right."
Yeah, it's one of those scenes that has stuck with me since the first time I read it. It's so wonderful for them. But I think my other one is I forget how sassy Azriel is. Like, because we always think of him as being cold and being quiet and as a shadow. But on page 285, he says to Cassian, "Are you going to join us, or do you have plans to ogle your muscles tonight?" And when he's talking about going to Rita's, he's like, "Yeah, last time you broke my foot with you trying to dance." Is that the spy master? That's just like, it's so funny.
Also, imagine in your head Cassian and Azriel dancing next to each other. Like,
I'll think about that all night. You can't stop me. But also, we learn a little bit more about the relationship with Azriel and Mor. I feel like, personally for me in this chapter chunk, Mor is the least seen character. But we see, Rhys says the only one who can really get Azriel out of his own head is Mor. And we see the protectiveness that both Azriel and Cassian have towards her.
We learn a lot about Mor from everyone else, not from her. Usually you learn about a character from like what they say about themselves or their quotes. Rhys and Feyre sees this interaction where she's just like, let's just go to Rita's. Dinner's done. Let's go. And then Az is like, okay, I'm in. And she automatically turns to Cassian and she's like, are you in too? And like, you see clearly her using Cassian as that buffer, like,
yeah,
okay, it can't just be me and Az. I have to get somebody else to go with me.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that did stick out to me about Mor on this one is we do know so little about her. And we know from reading forward on that her power is truth. I think she tells the six queens that later on in this book is, you know me, my power is truth. But she has so many secrets. She has the secret of where she is that night. The next morning when she comes up, Cassian's like, where were you? Who'd you go home with? You weren't with me. You weren't with Azriel. But also she has that secret little cottage that she rides the horse in the novella. And
I wonder if it's a white mare. I just want to pay attention. Just thoughts in the past.
It's just like there's so much she doesn't tell people and so much that she doesn't reveal. But you're right. We learn so much about her through other people. How much of that is true?
It's always from someone else's perspective. When they go to Summer Court, Azriel and Cassian don't go. They're left behind. But you know who's left in charge of protecting Velaris? Mor. It's a very specific quote. Like, she is the one left in charge. Is she powerful? She's more powerful than Cassian and Azriel, that she's the one left in charge. But he doesn't leave Azriel in charge. Although I think Azriel is off on all these missions and stuff. It is Mor who's in charge of protecting Velaris. What can she do? And why do we not have her book yet?
I'm excited. I want to see what her powers are.
It's going to be so good.
Shifting gears, in this chapter chunk about Rhys, this is what I mentioned last week when it was Amren and the amulet and like how she's helping Feyre. We learned that under the mountain, Rhys sent Feyre the music. And it's when it's just the two of them that she says, you sent me that music. It's a really sweet and vulnerable moment where he's like, you were breaking. I didn't know what else to do. We see a new side of him that's kind of been hinted at before, but we actually see it here.
With Rhys sending her the music, there is a part in this chapter chunk where Feyre says that she saw the Moonstone Palace and this place on a hill. And he's like, I never sent you that. So did she enter his mind while she was a human?
So I thought about this. I was like, is that because his shields were down, but he wasn't near her when it happened? What I'm wondering, do you remember last season when we were talking about all of the dreams that Feyre would have, and they were almost like prolific dreams where she imagined Amarantha killing her, and that I wonder if that was part of her prophetic dreams.
You have always said you think there's a chance one of Feyre's powers is premonition.
And this is the point. Yeah.
Where do you want to go now?
So I do want to also talk a little bit about Amren, since we were just talking about her. I want to know what Amren is. We know she drinks blood. We find out later that she doesn't particularly like Fey blood, so she's drinking blood of animals. She likes it spiced. Her eyes are silver and moving. What is she?
We need to connect to all the other book series because Amren is not of this world. She is of another world.
Right.
So we need to go to another world to figure out who she is, where she's from. And has SJM written about this world? Or has she not even written about Amren's kind yet? There might be like the water world, right? Like when she's falling through and it's the water world. What if she's like a water world person? Like we don't even know if she, like we could speculate, but like we have no idea. And also none of the people that we have met in any of SJM's books are blood drinkers.
No, I was trying to think of that. I can't think of anybody who's a blood drinker. Do you know what would be really shocking and cruel, but also really awesome, is if the next book is about Amren.
And everyone just hating, everyone being in an uproar that like, did we not have more Azrael?
We want Azrael. But I want to know about Amren.
I wonder if we will ever get that book, if that's the next novella. However, I've been saying this for years. I think the next novella is going to be about Moore and Emery. Emery. That's what I think it's going to be about. But what do I know? I know nothing. But like, I don't think Amren gets a whole book. I think Amren gets a novella, or Amren gets nothing. And then there's another book series in the future that has to do with the same universe that addresses who Amren is. She either gets a novella or nothing.
Or does she get kind of like a secondary romance the way that Adian and Lysandra do?
It could be, because, I mean, we have Varian.
The last thing I want to say on characters is jumping back to Feyre. There is a scene on 283 to 284. It's when they're first in the restaurant and she sees the restaurant owner is so proud of her food, and everyone, and it's wonderful, and everyone's talking about it. And the way that Feyre thinks about it, I think in my book I wrote, she's coming alive here. And on 283, the happiness on her face, the satisfaction that only a day of hard work doing something you love could bring, hit me like a stone. I remembered feeling that way after painting from morning to night. And then she says, I've never had food like this, food that makes me feel awake. Feyre's waking up. Feyre is coming alive because of this meal, because of these people, because of this city. I would argue that Velaris is another character in this book series.
We had talked a little bit about how we were going to approach this episode, and I was like, but the spices are a thing. The spices were mentioned in ACOTAR, and I did go back and find the quotes. Spices at the restaurant, spices that tugged on my memory. From a block away, the scent of hot food wafted by. So it's just like spices are a scent of her memory. It goes back literally on 164, and she talks about her dad being a spice trader. It's one-third of the way down. Barat for invaluable spices and cloth. If we're talking about Feyre's growth, can we talk about how many times she talks about painting, and she talks about the Rainbow District? Page 293 to 294, Death on Swift Wings is what Feyre, aka all of us, wants to paint. We all want to be able to paint that picture, all those guys. But like, she's healing. She can like be so inspired by where she is and the people around her and what the people around her are showing. This is like our proof of growth, that she is like coming back to painting, right? It's like very, very obvious.
So you're right. Like she's able to see colors, and I don't think there's another point in the book where she can't see blue and red. I don't remember after leaving the spring court if she ever has that moment of she's not able to see red again.
She also gets to summer court and says, I want to paint this, and talks about blue and yellow and black and white. So now blue is back, and she saw that after she got to summer court. She really just needed to like step out of herself for a second and like get somewhere else. She even wears blue at the summer court.
Yeah. Well, why don't we transition to Tarquin and the summer court, and then we can end on Rhys and Feyre's relationship. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Anything else in characters you wanted to talk about?
Like 1,000 things, but no.
The only
A
thing I'll
thousand things, yes.
The only thing I'll end on is when she thinks, or when she goes to sleep and sleeps through the night. I think this is the first night she slept through the night. It's kind of going to what you're saying about healing. She's healing even after thinking about being under the mountain and with Amarantha. It's big for our little lady.
She's growing. She's
So,
getting her big girl panties on.
yeah, she is. So, what are your thoughts about Tarquin and the Summer Court? Because this is our first time into a completely blank canvas, if you will. And it's our first time meeting one of the High Lords who was under the mountain with them.
My biggest thought is how Rhys says, light that candle on fire. And she doesn't, but she does do splashes of water. That's the biggest thing that stands out to me.
I love that she has that power. Like it almost comes easy to her. And she immediately is able to use it as a weapon against him.
She also plays around in the bathtub making like, I don't know, I just envision like Pegasus unicorns, like of little water droplets, like flying around while she's in the bath. Like she has so much fun with it. And we've never seen her play with like the water power before Summer Court.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of my favorite, I don't know, snarky comments from Rhys is when it's on 319 when he says, I suggest you not show Tarquin that little trick in the bedroom. He's such an ass.
Dude, the way that they like her. Okay. Feyre and Tarquin, potentially bedroom people. Rhys and Cressida, potential bedroom people. And the jealousy and the like, I'm not going to be verbal about it, but you're going to know. I don't know if it's from my body language. I don't know if it's from my eyes. I don't know if it's from the way that you see nothing from me because I'm blank and I'm ignoring you. But the jealousy between these two is insane.
It's so good. And you need Tarquin and Cressida to be there. Like, I don't think that this character development, which we'll get to, would have happened if they had been in the Spring Court, if they had been in the Night Court. I think they needed someone like Tarquin and someone like Cressida to be there. Like 324, Feyre says to Tarquin, I'm thinking it would be very easy to love you and easier to call you my friend. And then on 334, he says, I think it might be very easy to love you too, Feyre. Easier to be your friend. He is such a decent person. And if you think about this guy, he's 80 years old. 50 years of that was spent under the mountain with Amarantha. His High Lord was killed by Amarantha, and half of his family was killed, while under the mountain had to have felt the powers come on and he became High Lord. And he is still able to look at this person and say, I could be your friend. I've got these really great ideas. He's a good person.
He also is like a good person in Rhys Sand's eyes. Like,
yes.
Right? Like Rhys Sand is even like, we kind of have some of the same goals. But like, I want to contrast that with, we always think of Feyre as our heroine. On the same page, 334, she says, thief, liar, manipulator. I didn't deserve his alliance. She feels so awful for doing what she's doing, but she's still doing it. So it's like kind of one of those, do I do what's best for humanity even though everyone might hate me? This situation that she's put in that kind of really sucks for her.
But that's how Feyre's been seeing herself the whole book, right? Like, she's been seeing herself as the murderer, as the person who failed, as the person who... She's always seeing herself through a negative lens, whereas Rhys sees everything as, I'm doing this for my people.
It's like totalitarian philosophy. Like, what's best for the good is best for you.
But I think if the situation was reversed, I think Tarquin would do the exact same things Rhys is doing. I think for his people, I
Oh,
think he would.
that's really interesting. Wow. Yeah. Oh, man. I wish we could get into that. I wish we could
I know.
just
I wish
make
we knew more about
SJM
him.
write like 100 more books.
But like, I want his book. I want to know about this. I want to know what the summer court is like in the other cities. That's what I think why we love these books, is because these characters just come alive. And Tarquin is, he's a really pivotal point for them. This is the first time that she's being shown to an outside court. Cassian even makes a note about it. He's like, it's different with her being here versus sending her out to other courts. And even Cressida says, she's like, this is kind of a big deal. We're not going to war for you.
Also, Cressida hits on Rhys right in front of
Who
Feyre.
wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Also, fair. Who wouldn't?
You know
That's
what?
fair.
You miss every shot you don't take. Get it, Cressida.
Go, Cressida. You get 5 points for trying. What about her visiting what we call the Trove? This term is used so many times in multiple SJM universes. And then we do see the ruby necklaces. Wink. Later. We'll talk about that another time. But also, she gets this black diamond necklace, and Tarquin is, he's such a good guy that he is like, I think this would suit you really well in Night Court. God, this guy is too good to be believable.
But I think so. There's so much about that scene. That's on 332. There's so much about it though, because what he is saying, and I think this is important to compare next book, or maybe Silver Flames, is he already says, without saying it, you belong in the Night Court. These will suit you when you're in the Night Court. Versus Elaine, who everyone's like, yeah, this is not for you. But on those diamonds, each of the dark stones was a mystery and an answer. Each of them slumbered. What does that mean?
Each of them slumbered?
Yeah.
Are they sentient and like they're just sleeping and like at some point they're going to speak to her? What does that even mean?
But this isn't the first time she said something like this. At the beginning, when Feyre is in Velaris, she sees the Red Mountains and she thinks a great magic slumbers. I just want to pay attention to this. What are these black diamonds?
You want to pay attention to things that slumber or just the black diamonds? I think things that slumber sounds like a
things
better
that
attention.
Slumber. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what I also love is Tarquin's not stupid. Because she's like, I can't take these. And he's like, you know what? Take it for Under the Mountain. Take it because I need an ally in the North. And I'm trying to learn how to be political. He's just a decent guy.
And we can cut this out of the podcast, but like, I am a sucker for a dark guy. Like, he is a dark male, and I bet Tarquin is hot AF, and I'm here for it.
Do you know what it is? He's like Rhys. He's doing this for his people, but he's also seeing a bigger picture. It's why Rhys likes him, because Rhys says he's doing the same things I want to do. He's trying to get rid of high Fae and low Fae, almost like have a democracy. And I think he can do it. For a character we only meet for a handful of chapters, Tarquin really sticks out. And that is a plus to SJM's writing.
I think at some point he will circle back because there's no way we get this much emphasis on this character and it doesn't circle back, that somehow at the very end of we've reached the end of Throne of Glass, right? At some point we're going to reach the end of ACOTAR. And I think he's going to be one of the people that stands up with Rhys against some of the other courts and is like, You guys, this is what we're doing. This is what is best for humanity. This is what is best for Faye. This is what is best for us and our people and everyone. And we like want to be good Faye. We want to be good people. We want to be good humans. I think we may not see a lot of him, but I think at the end, whatever last book there is, we're going to see him.
I think one of the other things that stuck out to me about Tarquin, and this kind of transitions from Tarquin to Rhys, so this will kind of transition us to our last main topic, is Rhys says, and this is on the last page of this chapter chunk, on 337, Tarquin, with his neutral court, will never have to worry about someone walking away because a threat against their life, their children's lives, will always be there. So yes, I'm jealous of him. Tarquin is very neutral. The summer court doesn't have the fight, but Tarquin says he has tenuous ties with the spring court on 334. What has caused those tenuous ties? What do those ties look like? Is that tied to Under the Mountain when Tamlin didn't do anything? What do we see?
TBD. There's no way to determine that, but obviously when he talks about Feyre and says, I won't say anything about you being here unless I'm specifically asked, it makes it seem like there are tensions there, but he has enough reservation to be like, I'm not going to say anything to Spring Court to create more dissonance in our Fey world, but I also can't lie. So like,
Right.
Yeah, like what did happen there? But also it might just be because like, dude, bro, it's because Tamlin is Tamlin.
Yeah,
like that
he's a little
could
bit of
just
a
be
dick.
why. He's
then-
just is, yeah.
Yeah. But then comparing that quote about Tarquin to page 287, marrying me means a life with a target on your back. And if there were offspring, then a life of knowing they'd be hunted from the moment they were conceived. Everyone knows what happened to my family, and my people know that beyond these borders we are hated. That is such a heaviness that Rhys always has to wear that Tarquin doesn't have to worry about.
I'm going off topic and we can like completely circle back to what you were saying, but I just want to say he also later talks about where he had to bury his mother and his sister. I want to know, where are they buried? First of all,
I do too. I want to know what happened to his father. Do we ever learn
No, not yet.
I don't think we learn how his father died.
But to circle back to what you were saying, like Rhys Sand is like maybe so much older that he has like so much more history, and there's a lot going on with his family, like in this book, in this universe. Tarquin hasn't really had to deal with that yet. So like Tarquin is still bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about like how I can be like the best thing.
The Night Court is introduced as the villains in ACOTAR, not the Summer Court, not even the Autumn Court.
But that's kind of what I'm saying is like Rhys has all of this extensive history.
But I don't think it's tied to him. I think this is tied to just the Night Court in general. I think anyone who's going to be he even talks about like when they created the city of dreams, he was like, we were always the bad guys. Just one of my ancestors decided to be something different, but he couldn't tell anybody about it. The rumor is that the blood of this other High Lord is what keeps them safe. I think anyone who's going to be related to the High Lord of the Night Court will always be hunted, whether it's Rhys or whether it's Nyx in 500 years when he grows up. Like, I think it's always going to be the label of Night Court.
That is the price you have to pay. It's kind of like being a parent. Sometimes you are going to be made to feel like you're hated, but you know you're doing the right thing. Like that's what comes with it. Sorry, this is what you have.
And I don't think he regrets it. I think he would always be the High Lord. Because he cares so much about his people. Just the interactions he has with the Inner Circle, with the people in Velaris. I think he would always do it, but it still is a weight he bears. And he's sharing it, sharing it and also sharing that vulnerability with Feyre where he's like, Tarquin never has to deal with this. I do. And anyone who wants to be with me does.
That is, I think, one of the things we're going to have to face in the future is that Feyre is going to have to deal with this weight. We've already seen her bear so much. She's going to have to be a bad guy, too, and do that to protect Velaris and protect Nyx and protect everyone in the Night Court.
Well, but I think also, how much do people believe? I can't remember when Lucien finds her. Does he believe that she actually sends the letter? Or do they think this is just a lie from the Night Court? Feyre would never want to stay with them because they're villains. They're the bad guys. Do people even believe that she would want to stay with them?
The only thing I can remember, which doesn't completely address your question, is when Rhys sends the decapitated head to the spring court. And it's like utterly unfathomably horrible for anyone to witness. Lucien doesn't like it. Tamlin is angry. Feyre's like, I am terrified.
Well, yeah. I mean, she stands up for Velaris. We see it in this chapter, or in this book.
Her sisters, even in the future, stick up for Velaris. So we're going to see a lot more of it. And that just says, like, just because you think you can judge, you don't know. You don't know.
What are your thoughts on the Rhys and Feyre relationship development? Because so much kind of gets hinted at and starts here.
I love this so much. I love the amount of jealousy between these two, that they are just angry and antagonistic, but also both of them are so stoic that they're like, I'm not even going to show you that I'm angry. I'm just going to be pissed off over here by myself. And like, they kind of show each other, but like, they also kind of don't. And like, Rhys and Cressida and the black necklace from Tarquin to Feyre is so amazing because he's being so kind and giving, and he's giving her something that is like, it's completely black. It would be great for you in Night Court. So like, what can Rhys say? He can't even say anything.
But I love that Rhys is like, do you want jewelry? Just say the word and I'll buy you jewelry. Like, he doesn't take it for what Tarquin means it. He is jealous that someone else is giving her the jewelry.
He is not a fan, but also the part where he's like, I didn't even spend the night with Cressida. Like, what are you even talking about? And we know that in Feyre's mind, she was like, I hope they just go to her room because I can't even hear this. Like,
right.
It's just back and forth. They care about each other so much, but they're both so... I think Rhys knows that things are going to work out, and I think Feyre doesn't. So Rhys is doing his actions to play long game. Feyre is reacting in the moment.
I think the scene when she's practicing with Cassian and she breaks down and says it should have been me. And that's when Rhys switches place with Cassian and is talking to her, and he's just easing her into, I know what it's like to kill someone. It never gets easier. And it's just this very sweet moment between them. And it's both of them opening up. I think part of their romance, like, this is the slow burn romance of, they're not just hopping in bed together. They are forming a relationship. They are seeing the vulnerabilities in one another. They are seeing the red flags in one another and saying, this is still worth a relationship.
Let's talk about the secret notes, and that the fact that he gives her the opportunity, I think, to be in her own private space and flirt with her, play with her, whatever you want to call it. But also, like, you don't have to reply. This isn't face to face. If this is uncomfortable for you, you don't have to reply. But she does reply. And then he keeps like writing her back. But also it like gives her the freedom to say at any point in time, I don't want to participate in this anymore. And she could just not reply back. He like doesn't force her to do it face to face. I think that's a really powerful move on his part to say, I want to do this with you, but only if you're okay with it. And it's, to be really super cheesy, it's really, really like consensual.
Well, and they're having fun. And I think she had forgotten that aspect of flirting, because with Tamlin, it wasn't fun. It was lust. It was love and lust. She's even saying, like, it's fun. Like, on 306, my mouth went dry, but flirting with him, fighting with him, it was easy. Fun. Maybe I deserved both of those things. This is, again, Feyre coming alive, but, like, she's having fun with Rhys.
On that same page, the very next sentence is something that stood out so big to me. You haven't been able to keep away from me since Calanmai, it seems. And then next paragraph, something rippled in his eyes that I couldn't place. He knows. He knows. He knew since Calanmai. He knows. He knew.
On 310, after she kind of makes a snarky comment to him, delighted surprise lit Rhys's eyes. Like, he's wanting her to play. And, like, the fact that she's the one who references Calamni. She's the one who's, like, barbing with him in front of people. I think he's also coming alive under her. Or with her, I should say.
Maybe he needed to also have his own healing. And by helping her heal, that's helping him heal, or they're healing side by side, or we're seeing just like some amount of healing for him as well. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, we're like, he hasn't, because like when they go out to Rita's, Feyre thinks he's not going home with anybody. And Asriel is like able to pick out the ones that are going to be brave enough to ask Rhys out. But Rhys
when they
says
start
no.
taking bets about who he's going to say yes to when he's at the bar. Yeah.
And he says no to everyone. He says no to Cressida. He's not just going to hop in the sack with anybody. And maybe he does know that they're mates. Maybe he doesn't. But he's having fun with her as well. And this is where we start seeing their relationship. The jealousy between the two of them, that last page and a half, 335 to 337, when he says, what got under my skin is that you smiled at him.
Oh, I have that written down too.
Oh, the heartbreak. Yeah. The rest of the world faded to mist as the words sink in. You are jealous.
There's also the part where he says, I heard what you told him, that you thought it would be easy to fall in love with him. You meant it too. Mm-hmm. Like that amount of like, I don't want to say possessiveness. I want to say that amount of longing that like, please tell me I'm not the only person that feels this way. Like you feel this too, right? And like...
Well, and he's like, and I tried to catch your eye this afternoon, but you were so good at shutting me out completely. He just, like, it's almost like they were playing together, and then she kicked him out of the toy box. And he's like, yeah, I am jealous. You immediately found someone else you could love. What about me? I'm the one that saved you. I'm the one that helped you. I'm the one that's giving you a home. I'm the one you're also having fun with. And I really like you. Oh,
what about me? What about me? Did you forget about me? Because, like, I'm here always for you. Even in this place where you're looking at this other dude, I'm here.
I mean, he is being a little pick-me, but that's fine.
It's fine. It's Rhys. It's fine.
He's so wonderful.
He's so good. What else? What's next?
I think next, unless you've got anything else, we can move on to our mentionables, and I can ask you a question that I've been wanting to ask since I read this chapter chunk.
I just want you to ask. Let's do it before mentionables. Ask question, question.
It's part of the mentionables. So on page 293, Cassian says, "We get the tattoos when we're initiated as Illyrian warriors, for luck and glory on the battlefield." Who else has been initiated as an Illyrian warrior because they went through the rite? Nesta, Gwen, and Emery. Are they going to get Illyrian tattoos? Do they get tattoos at the end? I don't remember them.
Could you imagine Nesta with all of those tattoos? Like, she's already hard AF. She's already like, step up or step down because I'm ready to go every single time. Could you imagine facing that girl with like, she's like, let's go. And then she's with all these Illyrian tattoos?
Can you?
I hope it happens.
I love this idea of it. Yeah.
I never even thought about that. But like the Valkyries, they are well, I mean, also Feyre though, like they're all training with Illyrian warriors, learning how to fight like Illyrians. Like, I think they all need those tattoos, but Feyre kind of already has like some from Rhys, but like, oh my God. But
they go through the
I want to see Gwen and Az stand up on the top of a mountain next to each other with all of their tattoos and just be like, say something. Oh, I can't wait for that moment. That's such a brilliant observation. It's so good.
So my other mentionables, you've already mentioned Papa Archeron, but on 322, he was called the Prince of Merchants. And on 355, she tells Tarquin that he always had jewels. And we see that, on 255 of Akatar, we see him going through the jewels that she brought back from Tamlin. And he's like...
That's part of how he makes so much money, that they can go by that new place and like be settled and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And 288 is when we learn the rumor about, like I said earlier, the High Lord that spilled his blood to protect Velaris.
This is a crossover, isn't it? The spells on Velaris. Didn't at some point in time you say there was someone in Throne of Glass that like talks about how they went to this place one time?
Lorcan does.
That they like, is it Lorcan? Oh.
But we're never confirmed that it's Velaris. He just says it's a city in the mountains that goes up against water.
Right, but like we don't know it's Velaris, but like that is a potential crossover.
Yeah. We've already talked about colors and Feyre's powers. I think that does all of my mentionables.
The one thing I want to point out is paying more attention in the future about Feyre being Tamlin's bride. I don't think she is. They interrupted the wedding before. And then, just so for future reference, Amren and Varian, this starts on page 326 when we start seeing them hang out. So we have an official page number of where Amren and Varian start. Also, here's one of the last things I want to talk about. And I think you'll have an answer for this because I don't, and I'm sure you will. Why does Hybern want to resurrect Jurian? Is it just to test out the powers of the cauldron? Or like, does he think he's going to get something different from Jurian than what Jurian actually ends up becoming? Do you know the answer to this question?
I can't remember. I think we do learn it in the next book, though, because Jurian is working with Hybern. So I think it's just a test, but I'm sure we find out next book.
Jurian's working with Hybern? I've read all these books. I don't remember this.
Because remember, he's in the Spring Court with the two twins, the Daimati twins, when Feyre's in there. And Jurian he's like, yeah, when I knew Rhys, he wasn't the bad guy everybody says. And that's when Feyre's like, he is a really bad guy. He's like super bad. Like, nobody likes being around Rhys because he's super bad. Let's change the subject. And she's pretending to be on Tamlin's side.
Yeah, I remember all those things. I don't know if you know, I remember everything. So, like, I totally remember all of that. So I'm glad we got to discuss it. I think that does it for my mentionables. We do have a couple crossovers. You want to go over those?
Okay. I do have one on the First Crescent City book in 691. It's at chapter 78. Micah loomed over her being Bryce. She stretched her arms out towards the shelf. Her tingling fingers brushed over the titles. On the Divine Number, The Walking Dead, The Book of Breathings, The Queen with Many Faces. How is the Book of Breathings in Crescent City?
The Book of Breathings?
Yes. I don't know if you can see that. How is the Book of Breathings in Jessica's library?
That woman. Whoa. I mean, we always knew that in Crescent City there was this whole library and like Lahaba. That's all I can think about when I think of the library, and we're not going to talk about that because I don't want to cry on camera. The Book of Breathings is in Crescent City? I mean, it makes sense. It should be. She has the library, right? But like, what?
It's wild.
I can't talk. I don't even know what to do with my hands right now. What do I do with my hands?
What do I do with my hands? Well, then I'll just move on to my next link, which is not as good.
What did you just say? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't even. I know I should let you go on because we have a podcast and we have like a time limit and stuff, but like, I don't know if I can focus on what you're going to say because I can't stop thinking about if the Book of Breathings is in Jessica's library. Okay, I'm pushing forward. I'm great. I'm good.
Okay. My next one is it's an ACOTAR link, the ACOTAR universe on 303. I wished Nesta were there, if only to see them go head to head. Just a little, like, another crumb for the Nesta Cassian relationship that forms, and also the fact that she never thinks that with Azriel and Elaine. It's always her thinking about Cassian and Nesta. Mm-hmm. And that's all that I have.
Next week, we are going to focus on chapters 35 through 39. And let's go meet for some margs. Are you down? I don't know if you have time or not.
Yeah, I can see you there in 15 minutes.
I'll see you in 15. Oh my God, what a surprise.
All right. Bye. See you in 15. Bye,
Bye.
guys.